Good, happy Wednesday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to your Wednesday evening edition of WRMK News 12. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday evening, so let's get started right now. First up, we begin with breaking news. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie ends his 2024 presidential campaign on Wednesday, having drawn much attention as the Republican primary's main Donald Trump critic, but failing to gain widespread traction in the polls. So he has suspended his presidential campaign, Chris Christie. And now let's get to some local news now. Major flooding seen across Mount Desert Island. Let's take a listen to that report from ABC7 in Fox, Bangor, Maine.
After being pounded with heavy winds and rain, much of the Mount Desert Island area is underwater.
At 9:17, there was an 11-foot tide with about a 16-foot storm surge on top of that.
In Bar Harbor, the usually busy waters were empty as waves crashed along the shore. Crews spread out through the area for cleanup as several roads washed out due to the flooding.
And you can see the water line up past the Seawall Motel sign. It's never been that high.
Behind me is the Seawall Road in Southwest Harbor, and locals say they have seen flooding here before, but nothing to this extent.
This is wild. It sounded like this, but about 10 times louder. And it was you could hear it moving all around the house.
Charlotte Gill is the owner of the Seawall Motel and could not believe her eyes when she stepped onto her balcony.
It's amazing because I've lived here my whole life and I've never seen the water up that high, and then talking to others as well. Never seen that.
The road is expected to be closed for several days, much like many along the coast. In Southwest Harbor, Grace Blanchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Okay, and there you go on that report. New Waterville mayor shares his hopes for the city. Let's take a listen to that report from Fox ABC Maine.
I'm just getting started.
Meet Mike Morris.
I am the mayor of Waterville. I don't like the saying, well, let's think outside the box. Like, what if we just thought there was let's just pretend there's no box.
Morris took the helm as the city's 55th mayor just over a week ago, and he already has his eye on several issues. He says he plans to focus on economic development, drawing in visitors, and addressing Waterville's housing.
We have a lot of work to do with infrastructure. Roads and sidewalks, making the city more walkable, getting more people downtown. Housing is a big issue, not only here in Waterville, but in the state.
Morris says his biggest priority while in office will be the people, encouraging anyone who has an idea for the city to come and meet with him to talk about it.
I'm here for you. I will meet with anyone. I will have a conversation, with anyone. It might be a phone, it might be a sit down. If you have an idea, you want to come down, reach out. I prefer, groups of people where it's a two-way conversation.
During his tenure, Morris wants to get people engaged in the civic process. What's your vision for the city?
My vision for the city is to be better in 3 years than we are today. Downtown is one piece. Youth and getting them involved civically. I want to give a voice to the youth of the city.
And he hopes to leave behind a legacy like those that came before him.
We have a history of some really strong mayors. I'm very happy and very, very humbled.
In Waterville, David Ledford, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Experts talk properly shoveling snow. Let's take a listen to that report from Fox ABC Maine.
While shoveling snow is an old hat for most Mainers, don't be fooled. It's not as easy as it looks.
Well, it's really wet and heavy.
It's not great to shovel at all, like shoveling concrete.
Heavy.
Now, is there a safe shoveling technique? There actually is, and Lucas Bartlett from Northern Light Sports Health tells us what that is.
So using your legs, bending your knees to lift that weight, lift the weight of the snow, lift the shovel is going to be way more productive. You're going to be stronger and help you reduce injury risk.
Let's see how some residents did with using the correct form when shoveling their snow.
You have to use the right ergonomics and lift with your feet, not your back.
I use more of my upper body strength, but when it comes time to push the heavy stuff, I use it down by my waist and push.
Try to lift with your legs.
Yeah, bend, lift with your knees, your legs. Definitely. Use your arms, your legs as much as you can, not your back.
As someone who works with athletes, Bartlett understands the importance of good form. He says if you don't use the right technique, you could find yourself benched and in a lot of pain.
Back injuries definitely are a major concern, but other injuries as well. So shoulder injuries can happen. Broken bones or fractures are a definite risk, especially when the ground's frozen solid.
And one more tip for you shovelers, be sure to hydrate before and after you go outside, as you tend to lose a lot of fluid when you're outside moving snow. Matthew Juronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Good tips there. High winds push airplane into boarding bridge in Portland. Let's take a listen to that report from News Center, Maine.
These severe weather caused problems for air travel even before planes could take off.
Yeah, take a look at this. At the Portland Jetport, strong winds pushed a parked Southwest Airlines plane into the boarding bridge. No one was in the plane at the time, and fortunately no one was hurt. Officials say the tip of one of the wings hit the bridge, damaging it. Southwest planned to divert another aircraft to the Jetport to replace that damaged one.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Good thing no one was on board at the time. Truck crashes through guardrail off Turkey's Bridge. Let's take a listen to that report from WMTW News 8 Maine.
A truck actually drove off the side of Tukey's Bridge in Portland, ending up in floodwaters. Our Bonnie Bishop is at the scene right now. And Bonnie, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so we have seen, 3 people were in the truck that went over the bridge. All of them are alive, but the extent of their injuries is unknown. The Portland Portland Fire Deputy Chief says he's never seen something like this before. All 3 were taken to Maine Medical Center, where they're getting evaluated right now. And Curtis Trimmer was on the scene, and he works for the Portland Water District, and he saw the truck go off the railing.
It was scary. My first thought was I hope those guys in there or whoever's in there isn't dead. That was my first thought for them.
Did they get out on their own, or did you have to go down and help them out a little bit?
I ran down and got in the water and helped pull them out, made sure they get out all set, kind of help get them to shore a little bit.
We're not sure why the truck went into the water, and we're not sure how much of weather this morning has played a factor into the truck crashing, but the Coast Guard should be stopping by soon to check out any fuel leakage that went into the water, and our next steps will be getting the truck out of the water. Reporting for Maine's Total Coverage, I'm Bonnie Bishop.
All right, Bonnie, thank you.
Welcome to today's site.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Trump lawyers make case for immunity in the 2020 election case. Let's take a listen to that report from NBC News.
We turn now to the legal troubles facing Donald Trump. He appeared at a high-stakes court hearing yesterday. His legal team arguing the former president is immune for criminal prosecution for the actions he took in office. And of course, the 2024 campaign is well underway. The first votes on Monday in Iowa. We've got two reports. We'll start with NBC's senior legal correspondent, Laura Jarrett. Garrett, hey, on the trail. We'll get to you in a minute. So, Laura, let's talk about the arguments yesterday and how the Trump legal team fared in its quest to say this former president cannot be prosecuted, cannot be criminally charged.
The Trump team is facing an uphill battle from these three judges on this panel in D.C. yesterday. I think primarily because they were forced to concede. On the one hand, the president does not have complete immunity for all time under any circumstances. At the same time, forced to concede some pretty dark consequences. If their view were to prevail, one of the judges, Judge Pan, said, would that mean that the president is then allowed to actually assassinate a political rival? Does that mean the president's actually allowed to sell pardons and sell military secrets? And essentially, the attorney for Mr. Trump was forced to concede yes. The answer is yes. Unless that person has been impeached and convicted, then that's the only circumstance under which someone could actually be criminally prosecuted. And that's just a fallout I don't think these judges were willing to accept based on their questions yesterday.
Extraordinary legal arguments, and the judges really pushed the lawyers to see how far these positions go, as you just explained. So now we await a ruling. The expectation is that it will come fast. What will you be looking for in that ruling that will kind of dictate whether this trial happens, whether this goes past the election, how it all plays out?
So I predict the ruling is going to come back at lightning speed, maybe even perhaps this week or next. And so people understand these things usually take months and months and months. So we're talking about days and weeks. That's extremely unusual. And it's partly because they recognize the timing here is so important with that March trial date currently set, but really on hold while all this is playing out. So I hate to nerd out with you for just a second, but we have to because it's important. In the way that this appeals court styles its ruling, I'm going to be looking for when it says its decision is final, because it might indicate how much time the former president, if he was to lose, has to appeal. And so if they say this is going to become final within 5 days unless you appeal, that means he would have to go to the Supreme Court within those 5 days or do another appeal in front of the full panel of D.C. Circuit. So this can move really fast.
We'll be watching to see if it gets fast-tracked. Okay, Laura, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss...
Okay, and there you go on that report. And we're going to switch gears now, and let's take a look at your weather for this evening from Fox ABC Maine.
All right, Tyler, thank you. Well, we made it through that, but we're not quite done. The wind is dying down out there now after wind gusts of 50 to 70 miles per hour, rain, 1 to 4 inches of rain, and that quick burst of snow we had last night. We're quiet tomorrow, quiet Friday, followed by our next system getting in here on Saturday. It will not be as strong as one coming through today, but we do have a good chance for rain, snow, and some wind on Saturday. Until then, though, tonight's going to be an issue because we're going to have low temperatures back below freezing tonight, so whatever is wet out there, and lots of things are wet out there, will likely freeze over tonight in early parts of tomorrow. Here goes the big system now, and this thing was for the record books, right? Lots of wind, lots of rain, lots of snow, quick bursts of snow. It is pulling away though now. Tomorrow is going to be, like I said, a nice day for us, also on Friday, followed by our next system on Saturday. Until then, though, the wind is dying down, still out of the west around 13 in Millinocket, 12 here in Bangor. This may actually go calm for a couple hours tonight into tomorrow. And then again, a nice day tomorrow. Also for Friday, less windy too, ahead of our next system getting in here over the weekend and beyond. All right, there it is now. So here comes our next system across the Midwest. This is going to be another one, strong system for us. We've had a series of these now, of course, but again, it will not be as strong as when they came through this morning, and still, though, some wide-reaching impacts with it, though, across our area. Let's walk it through. So tonight, no issues with temperatures hanging out slightly below freezing. We'll get that flash freeze across the area. Here's tomorrow, 9 o'clock or so in the morning. We had mostly clear skies across our area, so don't forget the sunglasses tomorrow. Increasing clouds tomorrow night. No precipitation tomorrow. We'll keep things mostly cloudy on Friday as well, followed by the return of our next weather system later Friday into Saturday morning. And again, it's going to be a strong system once again. Look at these high temperatures today. This is not normal. The average high temperatures in the 20s. We were up near 50 today here in Bangor, 39 for Bar Harbor, 46 Millinocket. So tomorrow it will not be quite this warm. And there is much colder air on the way. Behind this system on Saturday, we're going to tug down some much colder air, and that's going to give us high temperatures through much of next week that could actually be below average for a change. We haven't done that for a while around here. Our forecast, though, tonight we're looking at partly cloudy skies, less windy, low temperatures down below freezing. So again, whatever is wet will likely freeze tonight, and lots of things are wet out there with that southwest breeze around 5 to 10. For tomorrow, all right, here we go. Partly cloudy and breezy, high temperatures, again, not as warm, but still well above average tomorrow with high temperatures up near 37, with that southwest wind gusting near 20 throughout the afternoon. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows tomorrow 37, so below freezing or at freezing Friday with lots of sunshine. Increasing clouds Friday night. Here comes our next system Saturday, likely arriving Saturday morning with rain, snow, and wind. This one does look warmer, so more rain, less snow with this system. That quickly gets out of here on Sunday. Cooler temperatures Sunday, a high of 29 with a high of 30 on Monday. Beth and Peter?
Okay, and there you go on that weather forecast. And we're gonna switch gears now, and let's go into sports. And in sports this evening, the Boston Bruins, they had a game last night, and the game went into overtime, and they played Arizona Coyotes, and the final score was Arizona Coyotes 4 and Boston Bruins 3. Arizona Coyotes won the game last night. Next game for Bruins will be tomorrow night at 10 o'clock p.m. against Golden Knights. Let's go Bruins. Hopefully they can win tomorrow night's game. And Celtics, they play tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. against Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's go Celtics. Hopefully they can win tonight's game. And that is your sports report. And that does it for this evening edition of WRMK News 12. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening. Good night and goodbye.